everyone, I'm back with another Gilmore Girls review.
Please, please, please.
How many cups have you had this morning?
None.
Plus?
5, but yours is better.
I got a kiss, and I shoplifted.
Honestly, Lorelai, it's not your looks that keep them away. Think about that.
People die, we pay. People crash cars, we pay. People lose a foot, we pay.
Did you do something slutty?
I'm not that happy.
Luke can waltz.
Luke can waltz.
Hell.
A child the minute the strip turns.
You jump by a jump jack.
Eternal damnation is what I'm risking for my rock and roll.
Because I love you, you idiot.
So today I'm going to be reviewing the spring episode, so the second episode of the revival. As an overall thought, I really enjoyed the episode. You could feel that it was separate from the previous episode, however it still had those continuing themes and ideas. So let's get into an in-depth exploration of the episode. Okay, so our first scene basically opens with Emily and Lorelai in the therapist's office, and I really like how they did those therapy scenes. Like, it showed them true and pure. You know, they were very silent. In the first one, they literally just said nothing the entire time. And the fact that once they grabbed onto a point, they didn't let go. And they both was arguing kind of the same point. Like, the scorebook came up. Laura mentioned this scorebook, and then Emily pounced to go, you better take that score, you better put that on the scorebook, you better make sure I win. And I just loved how that was a theme. When the minute their time ran out, that's when they had something to talk about, and it's kind of like, okay, you got through all that time without talking, and then they had to bring up something that triggered everything in the last 20 seconds of their time, and that was like, oh, come on, we're getting there into the nitty gritty. I felt like spring brought in a couple of cameos and a couple of characters from the original series that we didn't see in winter. They had very short scenes, which I get with the budget and all that behind the scenes type stuff, but I feel like they deserved more time on screen. Mrs. Kim, she got one scene, but it was iconic Mrs. Kim. Like, she's still the same person and she's still scaring everyone, and so that little split second of a scene was worth it, was worth how much we got of her. But saying that, you want more all the time. Kirk, I just love how they're using Kirk within these episodes. Kirk's like one of the main attractions of Stars Hollow. This episode, I really noticed a lot of things from the original series that they drifted back into this episode. Obviously they did the bidding on the baskets, and I loved how they made that reference with Lorelai and Luke. That was kind of a point where they started their relationship. That's where it kind of started. Okay, now all of us original Gilmore Girls fans who haven't binge watched it in the last couple of months because of the new episodes coming out, there was one character in the whole entire series that I think we saw once. If that, it might have just been the back of him in a bed. But Mr. Kim. We have not seen Mr. Kim on screen, and he got a cameo appearance in this episode, and it was great to see Mr. Kim. It was so casual. It was like, hey. Or it was like, hey, there's your dad. And it's like, hi, Mr. Kim. And then it goes and he's like, hi! I'm like, oh, Mr. Kim, we never seen you ever. We thought you were dead. Literally, people actually thought he was dead. He was not mentioned in like the last 3 seasons of the show. Jackson, we finally saw Jackson. Obviously, we knew from the winter episode that Jackson was with Suki and the kids. So obviously, he's not permanently living in Stars Hollow anymore. So his appearance kind of would have been very limited, and it was literally one scene, and it was the main purpose of it was where Suki was at the current moment of time. And yeah, they used him for the festival, which is great, the Spring Food Festival, but Jackson's appearance was so short, and it would have been so great to see the kids as well. Like, I would have loved to see what the kids were doing and what they're like and how old they are. Obviously you can do the math, but just seeing the kids would have been so great. Mitchum Huntsberger. We saw Mitchum Huntsberger in this episode, and he's a very controversial character to me because in the original series, he's kind of a villain to me. He's the one that gets Rory off track with Yale and believing in herself, which she's believed in this dream for so long, and Mitchum Hansberger is the one that ruined everything, pretty much. But you can tell he hasn't changed. He pushes things and wants to get his own way. And he did offer to help Rory, but it was weird how he kind of popped up at the restaurant, and that moment was a little bit, for Rory, it was a bit of a, oh crap, he knows, he's gonna know about us. Our Vegas arrangement is kind of over. But it didn't really matter, and it never really played into anything. Having a town meeting in this episode was amazing. I loved it so much. It was so worth it. It was so enjoyable. But can I add that Miss Patty was very missed in this town meeting. I really thought she could have chucked out a couple of jokes to Taylor, especially when they're having that talk about the gay characters in Stars Hollow, which in the original series is completely, it makes, like, Taylor actually addressed it himself, like, there's completely no mention of gay characters. But he addressed it, and I love it how Gypsy's like, are you sure there's no one else, Taylor? Are you sure? Are you really sure? And everyone's kind of leaning in, so you kind of like, it's kind of implied that, you know, and he's like, no, and they're like, oh, alright, well, alright, the secret bar. Why don't you just tax the secret bar? And they're like, shh, oh my god, what did you do, Babette? What did you do? Oh, loved it. But obviously we haven't seen the secret bar in this episode, so it should be next. Michelle. Okay, I realized that in my previous video, I didn't even talk about Michelle, and I'm gonna give him some dedicated moments right now. I love his rants in the original series, and this episode especially. Obviously, sometimes you don't really understand what he's saying, you just kind of just go along with it and pick up the main highlights of his rant. But I don't even care. I will listen to a Michelle rant every day of the week if I want to, because they're so good, and his expression, and it's just the fact that Emily and Lorelai can go from peace and quiet, like no talking, to cracking up laughing, to switch and to fighting straight away. It's just, I love their relationship. Yes, it's complicated, and yes, there's so many deep issues in their relationship, and there's different sides of the stories, and there's different point of views of what people think, but I just love how they can go from one thing to another and attack. Emily received a really nasty, terrible letter from Lorelai on her birthday, but we never find out who wrote the letter. So can someone tell me, please, who wrote the letter? I'm desperate to know. Chilton, Rory's class and Paris's class is such a difference. Rory was very calm and really enjoyable, and someone you'd want to inspire to be, and Paris just was batshit crazy scary, and she just scared those kids out of their mind, and even one running out crying, which just, as I said in my previous video, Paris is just so amazing, and that's why I love Paris, because she's so scary and she makes everyone cry. And that's just so her and her character, and it's so amazing. So obviously they did do a Tristan body double. And yeah, that scene should have been, I feel like Tristan was just a blink and miss. Like, you don't even realize. The only reason you know it's Tristan is because they mentioned Tristan. Paris in the bathroom, it really shows Paris' softer side as well. It's kind of like she's having that breakdown, and you can, like, you always know Paris has that soft side, but it's just that moment of break where she's like, I have my life together, but really, do I? Like, do I have my life together? I don't even know. Okay, but the door thing, if you guys, this is just amazing. One, Paris is wearing heels, right? She's wearing heels. Liza, well, oh my god. Heels, and you do this? I'm dead. Dying. Laters. Bye-bye. Start to feel sorry for Rory in this episode. You know, she kind of is just grabbing at straws. Everything is not going her way, and I really feel bad for her. And yes, a lot of people would disagree with different things, but I think she's definitely becoming aware of things, of her, like, issues in her career within this episode. She's just grasping at straws, and the book proposal falls through, and she gets you know, and she gets this interview, but she pulls up this story, and she's not really, I feel like she grabbed at it because the book fell through, and she's trying to be all high and just tries to get everything together. Like, she has this opportunity to write a story, and she just makes up this idea that she can do it. And Rory was falling asleep when she was interviewing, and I understand why. you know, obviously in the episode literally her career is like the foundations of her career are falling apart constantly, and her falling asleep is a matter of two things. It's a mixture of her being tired, and as like Lorelai mentioned, she was tired, so like obviously if she's tired, Rory's tired, and they're all tired, so that plays into why she was falling asleep. But another part is that the falling asleep is a bit of like a symbolism of she wasn't really interested in the piece, and the piece wasn't really for her and her direction of writing. So her falling asleep is kind of that idea of like, Rory, this is not for you. You need to move on. You need to go do something else that's more you. Mae Whiteman. Well, so obviously if you guys don't know, Mae Whiteman, she's the one that's standing next to Lorelai when they go to that group of people in that line, one of the lines. And if you didn't know, she was in Parenthood with Lauren Graham, and she was Lauren Graham's daughter. So she was like the new Rory in Parenthood. I loved her character, and it was so great to see her in the show. And I love, like, you could just tell that Mae was like really excited to be in the show, and she was just like one of the funniest characters. And yeah, it was only for like a split second she was on there, but it was just so nice to see her in the show. The fact that Lorelai would come back from trying to get coffee with the products that everyone was lining up for, the shoes and the crow cake. I'm sorry, but Lorelai is a magician. Like, she's just perfect. How does she do that? I will never know, but can someone teach me her skills? Please, I need to know those skills. I need them right now. She comes in and her hair's a little bit messed up, and she walks in and she goes, I slept with a Wookiee. And when I was watching this, I didn't know what a Wookiee was. So I'm just thinking, what the hell is a Wookiee? Wookiee? What the hell is a freaking Wookiee? I had to look it up, guys. I didn't know what a Wookiee is. I don't know. But also, the true reason why I really love that scene is because Rory finally breaks and tells Lorelai about Logan. Her reaction's a little bit weird. Like, how do you guys reconnect? And he has a fiance and all that stuff. But I'm just finally happy that Rory just let loose and told Lorelai. She's still in a relationship. She hasn't broken up with Paul yet. Oh, Rory. One thing that happens right at the end of the episode, and that is the fuel that pumps into the summer episode, is the whole Sandy Says thing. I feel like that whole time, that magazine, newspaper, website thing, whatever, they were pursuing Rory, like heavy. You don't pursue that unless they really want you. And I feel like she did think I feel like, yes, it could have still been implied as a job interview, but it was kind of like, I would have taken it as that I already had the job. I was just just starting the job. Like, not that I was about to get interviewed. Yeah, not having ideas and pitches was a mistake. And yes, Rory probably just misunderstood that part. That led to Rory completely going crazy and the music in that scene is when you know something, the intense moment is about to happen, and the music gets really intense and it's really like motivating to get something done. The phones, she just walks out, she's blasted Sandy saying, you misled me, I don't want your stupid job, I'm leaving. And she goes to the trash can and she pulls off all her SIM cards and all her phones and she chucks all of them out. All those expensive iPhones are in the bin. And she's ended up back in Stars Hollow, back to move in with Lorelai. And Lorelai's face is like, what? And well, that concludes our spring review episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you notice, throughout this review, I have been wearing a t-shirt that says Oi with the poodles already. It was a Christmas present from my friend Jess, so I want to thank her for that. And I hope that it was very Gilmore themed for this review. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that you liked it. Make sure you leave a comment about what you thought of the spring episode. What were your opinions and thoughts very close to mine, or were they completely different? Let me know. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you're notified for the next installment of my Gilmore Girls A Year in the Life review videos, and for any other video I choose to post. Make sure to also follow all my social media links so you can keep up with me. They're all in the description box. But I think that's all I got for that. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!
There's no going back.